Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. You know what? Please subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon so that we can stay connected and I can share with you the variety of topics on which I am presently planning to make videos. Video is particularly for those millions of vintage scooter lovers around the world. In this video I am planning to share some of my thoughts and observations on the restoration of vintage scooters. There are vintage lovers who have decades of experience in this field, and there are of course people who are new to this field. This video probably will be more useful to those new enthusiasts. Actually, my craze for vintage scooters started quite some years back, probably some 10 years, not that much I suppose. In the beginning, I was actually totally ignorant of all the serious facts regarding restoration, and I just was crazy about scooters. And I have made a lot of mistakes and I committed a lot of blunders, and later I learned a lot of things from my experience. There are the aspects which I have not seen much. Through this video I'd like to present certain facts which I have not seen in other videos, so I thought I would make a video on that, probably the facts. First of all, if you have already you have a scooter at home, like your grandpa's or your dad's old scooter, then you're really a lucky person, because you have then 1,000 reasons to tie to your heart. Let's come to the second category. You don't own one in the family and you have to get one. Pretty much research is needed and probably time, because it took almost 2 years for me to get my favorite stuff. It's a Bajaj super scooter with that square kind of headlight. Nowadays it's easy with online sites like OLX, Quicker, Facebook Marketplace and all, so you need not worry about it. Once you get your scooter, so half of the job is done. Still, you have to be careful with several things. The second thing I would like to say is that you should get a very good mechanic that also near your place, because to a great extent, after some time, if you are technically inclined, you can do the major works yourself, but still you should get a very good mechanic who has that patience to repair your scooter, so that whenever you find a difficulty you can go to him, and you can bring him to the place where your scooter is and you can get it repaired. So that's the most important thing. You should have the contact of 1 or 2 scooter mechanics who are specialized in your vintage scooter. Third aspect that you have to be careful with is regarding the painting of your scooter. See, when we get that scooter from someone, when you buy it from someone, the paint may not be that good, it might have rusted, so it definitely need some painting. So when you paint, you have to make sure that it's done very properly. It's the outcome is very good, so you may have your own choices. You have to pick out the right color. If you are using a dual tone, then you have to make sure that the colors match properly and the job is done perfectly. There are no patches and things like that, so you have to be really careful with, and you need to do some research about whom you should give it for painting, and what is the expertise of that particular painter you are going to give your scooter. Fourth aspect, actually this is actually a topic which I should have discussed in the beginning, and it's of great importance, that is budget. But why I said this in the fourth place, because this restoration of a scooter, or your vintage love, or your craze for vintage scooters is a passion. So when you talk about your passion, when you deal with your passion, money is only secondary, but still at the same time that's important, and so we have to deal with money, because if only we have money and time to spend on this, we'll be successful in restoring our scooter. So that's very important. So budget is the most important thing, and if you follow your passion, then you should be like little bit you have to keep it secondary, that money. But that's where I would like to help. If you act sensibly and cautiously, you can achieve your goal without spending too much money. That's very important. Money matter is to be carefully dealt with unless you are a millionaire. This point comes the selection of the right vehicle, because if you are successful in selecting the right vehicle, that means the right scooter, then to a certain extent you can bring down your expenses. For example, there are a lot of vintage scooters available in our place, and a lot of scooters like the Lambretta, Vijay Super, then Bajaj 150 is there, Vespa 150 is there, then Bajaj Chetak, Bajaj Super, lot of scooters are there. So if you have really lot of money, then you can go for that very old ones like old Vespas which we used to have in India, then even the Lambretta and all. Why? Because getting spare parts for these really old and rare scooters is a bit difficult. But at the same time, Bajaj scooters, Bajaj 150, from there you come to Bajaj Super, then the Priya scooter is there. It really look very old. At the same time, parts are easily available. So that's a very important aspect. So when parts become really rare, it is unavailable, then their cost also will increase. So in that aspect, from the beginning itself, when you are selecting that scooter, when you are buying that scooter, you have to be careful from the very beginning, because the kind of scooter that you select, you will have to spend your money according to that, because the rarer and the rarer the scooter becomes, their parts also will be very rare, and you will have to shell out a lot of money on buying their parts, on maintaining them and things like that. So that is very important. These scooters also are not mechanics are not available, because we know the modern vehicles, we have that showrooms and all kinds of things like that. But in olden times, we used to have a lot of small workshops, and these mechanics who used to repair all these old scooters in their times, like Lambretta, Vespa, Bajaj Super, Bajaj scooters, and all kinds of scooters. These people are also really rare, because most of them have become old, or they have shut down their garage and things like that. So you have to find right person who knows how to repair the scooter. That is very important. The second thing is, very easily you can learn if you are slightly inclined to that, technically inclined, and you have that mechanical skill little bit, then you can also learn to repair the scooters. That's the second thing. But mainly you need a very good mechanic whom you can trust, because these things you have to be very careful with. You have to be really careful with. And getting parts also means whenever you get spare parts, which you have to keep a small stock of all these things, because that is very important. For example, in a scooter like this is a Bajaj 150 scooter, and this works on this is a 6-volt scooter, and it works on platinum point. So platinum point and all is an old time, it's an ancient kind of thing, and so that won't be readily available in every shop, every spare part shop. So when you get one like that platinum point, it's a small spare part, but it's really an important one. So when you find a shop, you buy a spare, like you keep two, like so that whenever it becomes necessary, you can use that. And the same way, like tail lamps or bulbs, 6-volt bulbs, then small things which are not readily available. Whenever you find a shop where you get these things, try to buy 2-piece or 3-piece, and so that you can keep with you, or in times of urgency you can even help a friend of yours. That's really a nice thing to do. So that is very important. So that means, and the place where you need to buy one spare for a new vehicle, here sometimes as a precautionary measure you have to buy 2 or 3 of that spare part and keep it with you, so that later on it will be of great help to you. So that's a very important thing these vintage scooter lovers have to keep in mind about the spare parts, because they are not readily available. You won't get all the parts in every shop. So whenever you find one shop, you just ask for the parts which may become unavailable easily. In such a case, you have to keep a spare of that, 1 or 2 you can stock with you, so that either you can use or you can even help a friend of yours, because quite naturally vintage lovers very soon become friends. So you'll have a lot of vintage loving friends, and that is very important, having a group, being in a group, so that people can help each other, and you can be of help to others and they can help you in times of need. So that's a very important thing, and that you have to keep in mind. So that will definitely affect your budget, but at the same time it's a very useful thing that you should remember. One very important tip, or I can say an advice that I can give to this vintage lovers or fresh enthusiasts who are stepping into this field of becoming a vintage lover. The most important thing that you have to bear in your mind is about the vintage value, or maintaining the value of your scooter. How will you maintain the value of your scooter? It is not only scooter, any vintage vehicle, but really we are talking about scooters, and so I am telling specifically about scooters, but it applies to all kinds of vintage vehicles. So the most important thing that you have to keep in mind is that maintain the originality of the vehicle. I repeat, maintain the originality of the vehicle, because when you make modifications on your vehicle, that you are actually stripping off the vintage value of that scooter. So it should be 100% like it used to be in its time. So you please don't go for any kind of modifications. The only modification that you can think of is like color modification, like you give a dual tone color or things like that. Also, it shouldn't look awkward, it shouldn't look that funky type of colors you cannot give. It's better you don't give, because it's, after all, it's the choice of the people who use the scooter. But at the same time, still, if you keep that kind of old time colors, if you maintain that that look of the scooter as such, like if you want, you can, instead of giving that black leather on your seats, you can give it a beige color or things like that. You can change the color, but at the same time it's better if you don't go for that modifications. It should look like it was actually when the scooter was produced, so that you will maintain the vintage value. Try to get as many parts that are original as possible, because whatever parts are available in the market, it will be original ones. Original in the sense it looks alike. Sometimes we don't know. So, but still, let it be the horn, or let it be the speedometer, or let it be the switches, or the tail lamp. I have seen, because why I am telling this, because I have seen a lot of people modify the tail lamp into something like from some other scooter or from some other bike or something. They modify and fix it on it. That will really spoil the look of your beautiful vintage scooter, and the value of the scooter will be lost forever. So that's the most important thing that you have to keep in mind. Maintain the originality of the scooter as such. That will give more beauty to your scooter, and also that will maintain the value of your scooter. Before sign off, let me tell that I'm not done with all the aspects of the scooter restoration. This is just an introduction, and I'll be coming up with the other aspects in my next videos. and especially things like the legal aspect and other things I'll be dealing with in my next video. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel, you know what, and I'll be coming up with more interesting and more things that you don't find in other channels. Please do watch, share and subscribe my channel, you know what. Next time, in my next video, I'll be coming up with the other aspects of restoration, and particularly and specifically the legal things that you should keep in mind when you own a scooter, when you are especially when you are maintaining a vintage scooter, because you need to be really careful with that. And I'll be talking about, or I'll be dealing with such aspects in the coming video. Thank you for watching. Thank you, have a nice day, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.